Hey there and welcome to Vermintide 2. Today I'm looking at another of Sienna's staves. She's got quite the arsenal of them, so I thought I'd give them all a bit of a review and a playthrough so you can see how they work. And I'm starting with the less used and less loved staves. But today we will be looking at the Conflagration Staff. And I just pronounced that wrong. I learnt today I've been pronouncing it wrong my whole life. It is conflagration, and that is an extensive fire that destroys a great deal of land or property. That sounds like the perfect staff for Sienna. But how it works is basically, you hold down your charge attack and let off a massive explosion in the distance. Now this staff does damage over time, crowd control, and charged attacks. Those are all of its attributes. So, without further ado, let's go see how it plays. And at the end of the video, I will be doing a review where I kind of go over everything I learned about the staff, felt about the staff while I played, and kind of seeing where its place on the battlefield lies. I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption that its place will be blowing up groups of enemies. That's just my guess. But anyway. An unfortunate effect of this weapon is its AoE. It's gonna cause friendly fire damage pretty frequently. But my goodness, that Horde went down quickly. This thing absolutely annihilated it. And its basic left-click attack is just the same as the Fireball staff. It just sends out a little blast of fire, nothing too special. Now, this staff has a pretty limited range compared to other staves. It's definitely not what I'd call close ranged, it's not bad, but I think every other staff can just shoot very far into the distance. So that is the initial limiting factor that I've noticed about it. You do have to be within about medium range of enemies to actually hit them with the charged attack. The left click, like all the other staves, can just go as far as it can go. And that limited range brings in one serious factor in that it's not good at dealing with specials. You really can't charge attack specials unless they're close enough, and most specials have a pretty high range. It also takes quite a long time to fully charge. Now, you can do little bursts of fire with it. You don't have to use the entire charge, but it's going to have the most effect when you do use the entire charge. So it can be overwhelmed pretty easily. Right now we're backed into a corner pretty much, and I've noticed a couple times the enemies certainly get close. And look at this Blight Mage here, he's just on the edge of my range. And man, he does not give a crap. There we go, got his head, okay. But yeah, this charge can take quite a long time, so you can end up getting pinned down if you're using the full charge every time. And from just the few little charges I've done, I'd say it doesn't actually do that much damage, so when and if I can, I'm going to be wanting to use the full charge. With that said, it doesn't generate a huge amount of heat, and that's partly because it does attack so slowly if you're using the full charge. And again, in close quarters, there's going to be some friendly fire, but when you get off a full charge, you really do just decimate any enemies within that ring. Against small groups of enemies, the heat you generate really isn't worth using the staff. Better to pull out a melee weapon or just use the light attack with the staff. But against big groups, just gonna nuke them down. So even if I don't kill them with the initial blast, because it sets them on fire, that extra damage over time is gonna finish them off. And I'm playing Unchained, so if you want to just be an extremely explosive mage, it's a great combo. And you can see with the full charge that it leaves a damage over time on the ground. That's another advantage of not using the light charge and taking the time and the heat to actually fully charge it. And here comes the Spawn of Chaos, the last boss I ever want to see, especially with this staff, because I don't think it's going to excel at killing bosses. This might be a dagger boss. Oh, there's a bloody Blight Stormer too. Oh, he's dead. Okay, good. You know, I would say there are definitely better styles for taking out a boss, but this isn't performing as badly as I thought it would. Especially for the spawn of chaos, that damage over time is really nice. Well, a bomb certainly does it. So yeah, I'd say the Conflagration Staff really is not a boss killer. It did not perform as badly as I expected, but you're gonna have better luck with other weapons for taking down a boss. You can blow people off bridges, which is pretty fun with it, but it's a little weird to aim on different elevations. And look, that Blightstormer, I am just not going to get him with a charge attack. So I'm really not going to be useful against anyone that far away, and that can be a pretty limiting factor because Sienna is an extremely strong ranged character. So without her being able to take out long distance specials, that's limiting your entire team. Luckily, I've got Carillion, who can just nuke him from a distance with her ult. And you can also mitigate that by simply not playing the Unchained. Oh, yep. And you can definitely damage yourself with this as well. Oh yeah, definitely. Friendly fire and self-fire are definitely things that you'll feel with this weapon. But bloody hell does it take down a Horde. And I'm going to look at all the staffs, so I'd imagine there will be staffs that are better at taking down Hordes, but this one certainly does it well, and I'd say at a better cost to damage ratio than the Beam Staff's power attack. Sorry, than the Bolt Staff's power attack. The Beam Staff is just all round bloody good. Well, that Horde was taken down pretty quickly. I don't know if I'm just getting short Hordes or if this staff is really a lot better than it feels. But it feels pretty damn good, and it's a lot of fun. I've got to say, normally the Fireball staff is my favorite, but I'm actually really enjoying the Conflagration Staff. Bloody hell, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that properly. It didn't even kill that rat, come on. Wow. Okay, you really want to fully charge that thing. Even the little rats can take hits like that. Another benefit of this staff is the knockdown effect. With that fully charged power attack, if it doesn't kill an enemy, it's going to knock them on their ass, and that'll buy you valuable time if you're pinned down by a Horde. But let's have some fun and test it out on a patrol. We'll get them after the Horde, unless I accidentally pull them now, but hopefully they bugger off and I can find them later. I'll say it again, friendly fire, that's the thing that's happening. But I don't think friendly fire is really that much of an issue in this game. It doesn't seem to be utterly nuking my teammates. They're handling it pretty well. That Horde was again swiftly dealt with, so let's go on to something a little more fun and find that armored patrol. This is really awkward, guys, but I kinda need you right now. Anyone? Anyone at all? Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, let's blow them up. Holy hell, I think I just knocked half them off the damn cliff. Wow. Okay. So, when I was fighting that Chaos Warrior, I said it wasn't that good against armor. And I said that because of how long the charge attack takes to charge. But that bloody decimated that patrol. That did way, way better than I was expecting. I am actually in slight disbelief of how well that did. It did look like I knocked half them off the cliff, but that's one of the benefits of this weapon. Okay, so one thing about it, if you get hit while you're charging, it does entirely cancel the charge. So if you are pinned down, it's going to be even more difficult to unpin yourself. That is definitely a big downfall to it because it does depend so much on that charge attack being fully charged. Alright, so that even staggers the Chaos Warrior with a full charge. That's pretty nice. Getting those guys not attacking and not moving is always a good benefit to the team. Yeah, each charge attack does generate quite a lot of heat, but it's so slow to charge it that you're not going to massively overheat yourself by accident. Let's ring that bell.
We'll take them together, Gorkson.
So something I just wondered about this, can you cast onto walls? Well, sort of. I'm actually casting on the flat lands over there. So that's another thing, you can't target climbing enemies with the charge attack. Now, you don't run into climbing enemies a whole lot, but that's another note for it. Alright guys, let's get in the corner. We have our righteous stand in a corner. Oh yeah, that gunner is not mine. Bloody hell, yeah. My charge attack is not going to reach that far, so let's get some light attacks in. Or just have the whole team run up to him with melee weapons. You all have ammunition. Shoot him. It's a rough time to teleport in, mate. You survived, but bloody hell, you got scorched on the way out. I'm really liking the knockback on this, now that I've noticed it. Before I just thought, you know, enemies blew up and they died, but that knockback, plus the burn, plus the massive AoE, I am loving this stuff. And my god, it is pretty. Oh, and with the Unchained, you just blowing everything up constantly. It's amazing. This might be my new favorite. Yep, as long as you can have your teammate properly covering you so you can really get those charges going, this weapon decimates enemies. And there we go, that is Righteous Stand done. That was a pretty flawless run, I don't think I went down. Even that Spawn of Chaos was pretty easy, but I'd say that was mostly because of my teammates. Well, now that we've finished the level, it's time for a review, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be a good one. The Conflagration Staff thoroughly surprised me. I've used it before and found it unwieldy and just too slow to really have an impact in combat, but my god was I wrong. It does take a long time to charge up, and if you do want to have an impact, you really do need to fully charge it. But when you do, you get a massive AoE explosion that kills most small enemies in one hit, sets anyone who survives on fire, and knocks down armored enemies, regular enemies, and stumbles Chaos Knights. It is a very powerful weapon. Now, the not so good things. When you get attacked, even if it's just a single Skaven slave slightly scraping you, you entirely lose the charge you currently have going. That means you can very easily be pinned down and kept pinned. It does generate quite a lot of heat. This isn't so bad because it takes such a long time to actually charge it up and use it that it's pretty difficult to overheat yourself, but for a full bar of heat you don't get that many attacks in, it's about 3 or 4. Another thing is its limited range. The charge attack can only go so far and it's a much shorter distance than any of the other staves. So you're going to be not as good at taking down specials, and because I play the Unchained, I was very useless at taking down specials without that career ability that can just nuke them. But the left click attack can still take them down, you just need to aim well and get a few hits in. This weapon excels at taking out groups, and quite obviously it's a very explosive weapon. It staggers enemies, it burns enemies, it just decimates groups of enemies, and it even performs well against armor. It does take a very long time to charge its attack, but when you do, you can almost stun lock most enemies it seems. Even a Chaos Warrior heavily stumbles. That patrol I essentially took down on my own, and I was a bit lucky that the cliff was there and I do think I knocked some off. But that is another benefit of it. You can use the environment to your advantage with this staff because its knockback is so strong. And it just packs a hell of a punch when you get that full charge off. Overall, the Conflagration Staff really surprised me. its detriments weren't nearly as bad as I thought they would be, and the positives of it were way stronger than I expected. This might actually be my new favorite staff. Well, I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoyed actually seeing it in action on the battlefield, and I hope if you've turned it down before, you give it a second chance and try it again, because like I keep saying, it thoroughly surprised me. But I hope you enjoyed the video overall, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.